Julian Alvarez was one of the headline-making transfers this summer, making the big money move to Atletico Madrid. He was supposed to be the missing piece for El Cholo Simeone. He's won everything with River Plate. He's won everything with Manchester City, and he's a World Cup winner with Argentina. And with Atletico Madrid being hyperactive in this transfer window in their pursuit for the missing piece of their puzzle, which is Champions League glory, Alvarez is definitely seen as being the poster child for the efforts that they're going to make in the 24-25 season. But with 3 starts and 1 sub appearance in the first 4 games, clocking up 208 minutes of playtime, he has only registered 1 shot on target. And Atletico Madrid, for the second summer in a row, are now looking like, after doing some incredible business, they might have still just about got it wrong ever so slightly. Conor Gallagher joins the ranks, as well as a bit of a revamped defence as well. And a team that really does follow on from the sentiment that we had last season, that Simeone was maybe going to be doing much more attacking rather than defending with his setup and his strategy for his team. In the video today, we'll be looking at how Atletico Madrid are kind of built, how we expect Alvarez to maybe shake off this gloomy kind of start that he's had to life in Madrid, and really what he is going to offer the team, and how far Atletico Madrid could go, maybe even in La Liga or in the Champions League this season. At any point in the video, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, as we cover all the kind of headline teams across European football as we get set for what's probably going to be the biggest season ever, with so many of Europe's top leagues being so competitive. In this revamped Champions League, it just really does feel like we're on for a great season of football. And get into the comment section in this one and let me know, what do you think of the Atletico Madrid squad? Could they challenge for La Liga? Can they go the distance in the Champions League? I'd be really interested to catch the comments on this one. And yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, right from the tip-off on this one, I want to be straight with you guys. I've been following Atletico Madrid for a good couple of years, and I've made a good couple of videos on them through transfer windows and different results in the Champions League and whatever. And I really do like their squad, and I'm a big fan of Simeone. But again, as I look at this squad as it lies now, I think he's went and done the same blooming mistake again. He's got this horrible knack of getting too many players that you just cannot get them all in the team. It's just not going to work. And I do think that's a big part of the reason why Julian Alvarez hasn't really hit the ground running yet. Because if we look at the squad as it's kind of presented here, the back three, you know, the best back three is kind of interchangeable. I think Lenormand and Ronaldo will be really hard to get them displaced. And between the rest of them, it's neither here nor there. Out in the wide areas, between Molina and Llorente, who's had to convert into this position, who's doing pretty well, they're both quite fine. Galan can't get in the team, and Lino is a much more of an attacking winger type guy. So alongside Llorente, who's much more used to being like an offensive right midfielder, they've really built like a back three to defend like mad. And then the wing backs, whether it be Molina and Galan, who are like more actual defenders, but they are attacking fullbacks on that sense. It really does point to the team being in the opposition half much more. And that's why we're waiting for Atletico Madrid to really click into gear and be a high scoring team, because if this is the way you're building up and you're setting up and being traditionally the third best team, the third biggest team in La Liga, domestically and in Europe, you're going to get possession more often than not. Despite traditionally being a defensive counter-attacking team, they're now in that position of being a dominant force and being put on the ball a lot more often. And it's for that reason that Rodrigo de Paul, for me, is one of the first names that Simeone is putting on this team sheet week in, week out. We see Conor Gallagher come in as well for huge money, and I think he is going to be a big success under Simeone in this Atletico Madrid team. And, you know, for the transfer fee that he came in for, the quality he offers, and really what he does give the team, it's hard to imagine that he also isn't one of the first names on the team sheet. Now, that puts a bit of problems into this team straight away, and this is kind of, even I'm talking about midfielders, you'll kind of see how this filters up the game a little bit here. Koke is getting phased out, he's too young, but Barrios has picked over the number 8 shirt now, and he, over the first couple of games from the academy, is really stepping into that void of like the homegrown player, the fan on the pitch, and Barrios is becoming almost unplayable, where he's doing really well at getting the ball out of defence and moving it into attack, and he's really starting to fulfil his potential here. So between these two positions, you've really got 3 guys that are pushing for it. The alternative to this is you play Barrios and De Paul, and then you're able to have your playmaker, your guy with the great range of passing and the kind of leader in the middle of the pitch, and then you've got the legs kind of orbiting him. You know, get the ball from the back, get involved in duels, play it to De Paul, he can play it on, or De Paul plays it to you, you carry it by a guy and get the attack going, that sort of thing. And then you put Gallagher in support of one of the strikers, and this is where the problems begin, because If you do this, fine, you could maybe play Alvarez up front with Sorloth. But the thing with Alvarez that we've seen, particularly at City, and you would definitely say as well with Argentina, because he was much more out in kind of right wing, right mid kind of thing, supporting the rest of the attackers, is he's never really been the arrowhead. He's never really been the focal point of the attack. He loves to press, he loves to support, he can be tactically very flexible, but he's not Sorloth. And I think Sorloth has been brought in because of the goals he was scoring last year, because of that physical presence he does offer, running against defenders and being clinical in the box. So I think Alvarez is going to do much, much better in support of Sorloth, which then puts the focus onto Antoine Griezmann. Again, a guy you've got to think is pretty undroppable in this squad. And although he's not really started this season too great, he wasn't that hot for France in the summer. He's made no secret of his desire to go to the MLS eventually. And there was already some whispers in this window that maybe that was afoot already. So maybe that's something that'll happen further down the road. But Griezmann's on the record. He wants to win a league. He wants to win something, actually beat Atletico Madrid. And you've got to think that he is, again, such an important player to the team. He is very motivated for success of this team. And, you know, I guess modern football is about the quality of squad and all the rest of it, but this is a wee bit excessive. And I think, again, like I said before, Simeone's put himself in this position already where, like, really, I think you want Sorloth starting 95% of matches, and you get a bit of cohesion with the support act of Griezmann and Alvarez predominantly. But the pressure that puts back into midfield, you're maybe then going to be, you know, putting a bit of a ceiling on Barrios and how much he develops this year for the most part. And then you're relying on Gallagher and DePaul really kind of forming a bit of a partnership that Barrios and DePaul kind of already have. So it's a really difficult one for me in terms of, like, I think Alvarez is kind of the missing piece here. If this is the way that they're going to play, they're going to let them start their, you know, their best 11 in the most important matches. But it's only going to be effective if they can play like this week in, week out. And it doesn't seem to be that they can. They want to have Alvarez up here now all of a sudden, with maybe Sorloth being second in command and then being supported by, really tactically, what is the best decision here is having DePaul, Barrios and Gallagher in support of everyone else. But for me, this is maybe just pushing Griezmann out the picture a bit too much, actually. Like, that's maybe the concession that has to be made in the immediate term, which feels so counterproductive, but it's just on performances so far. And really, with the qualities that the rest of this combination brings, it's about unlocking the best 11 possible. And I think this could be it, of course, but for some reason there's been a bit of a reluctance to get Sorloth and Alvarez consistently playing together. But this is a team for me that week in, week out in La Liga is going to be in the top 3 again. Of that, there probably is no question. With 4 games gone, 2 draws and 2 wins, all 4 teams have played against are quite respectable, if not top end La Liga outfits. So certainly like a decent enough start, but I think with the money they've invested and with the lack of impact for Alvarez, there is a wee bit of pause for the cause when it comes to how, you know, estimating Atletico Madrid at this point and coming to this international, probably like how La Liga fans, Atletico Madrid fans are probably feeling. But when it comes to the Champions League, I think a lot of these guys will click into gear. And Atletico Madrid could very quickly become a real free-scoring, all-out attack powerhouse. Because, like I've mentioned before with the situation with the fullbacks, like, they are just setting themselves up to have so many players going out in attack. And with the chances that they can create, and we've seen them do when they've been at their peak in this type of shape, they are a match for all the good teams in European football, the best teams in European football. And it is just going to be a big test for Simeone here to really work out what is the best 11 and how do you get the most out of the best players in the team here to be able to beat Barca, to be able to beat Real Madrid, to come up against all-comers in the Champions League and get the points required. Because with Griezmann, with Simeone, with so many of these players, the Champions League is that unicorn, is that thing that they're still chasing down. And that's why they go and get guys like Alvarez and Gallagher. Yeah, they want to win in their La Liga, and you know, if they get back into contention for that, you know, I don't think they'll be disappointed, certainly. But they've got the quality of depth to do it on both levels. But like I say, that's just kind of what I know to be from listening to them and watching them and following them, the main kind of thing that they're chasing down. And you know, like, to do that, you need the quality of squad. Of course, you need to be able to rotate like for like as often as possible to keep consistency here. But I know Barrios, they really want him in the team, and there's just this reluctance to have Sorloth and Alvarez so far. Maybe after the international window, when everyone comes back, we'll maybe see the dust settle on this a little bit more. But Atletico Madrid, for me, have had a fantastic window. You know, they've managed to shift out João Felix, Memphis Depay, Stefan Savic, even Alvaro Morata. There's been lots of big wage earners and some transfer fees come back to Atletico Madrid, but they've managed to get a lot of money off the books. And this mistake, like I said, they've made it before. And when you see all those outgoings, you think, all right, he's learned from this lesson as well, you know. But looking at it, it just does feel like there's just one player too many kind of in the same position here, and it does make it, I think it maybe adds a bit more friction than you want in this situation. Like I said repeatedly, yes, you need quality and depth, but I think you're maybe running the risk of, like I say, not unlocking what the best 11 is here. It's too difficult, and it means he's going to be changing all the time. You're going to be yeah, just lacking that bit of cohesion as the season goes. So Atletico Madrid have definitely got the potential, they've definitely got the minerals here to do what's needed this season to have an historic and very memorable year. But I do just feel that, yeah, there's been no lessons learned here from Simeone. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Has Simeone actually nailed it in terms of the balance of this squad, having two to position in all the right areas, having a really high level of quality of winners and proven goal scorers and proven match winners in these vital areas, as well as those extra legs in midfield, because last year Koke and DePaul, that was a bit of a handicap for them. Barrios, Gallagher, these guys all been in amongst it now. Are they going to win the Champions League? Are they going to win La Liga? On screen there now some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you on the next one.